Hi, it's a cold day today, and I've just literally finished off doing a split hem for my Seafield sweater, and I'm going to bind off the edge like an Italian bind off, like I've done the tubular bind off here without doing the 2 rows in between, or the 2 rounds I should say, of your double knitting. So it just to create this lovely little turnover so that your knit columns look like they're flowing from one side to the other. So in my other tutorial that I have for this, I actually show you how you do it in the round, and the setup at the beginning is slightly different for doing it in the flat. So this is how we're going to do it in the flat. Get this out of the way. Oops. So I thread my needle with yarn about 4 and a bit times the length of my rib, and we break the thread, and then what we do is we have our first setup row. So on this one I'm on the wrong side because I've been slipping the yarn on the right side to create this nice little edging here. So in order to do this, we have a couple of setup rows to do. So what we want to do is set up this, we're going to treat this first stitch as a knit stitch, even though it's been slipped the whole way through. So we're going to go into that purlwise with the yarn, bring it all the way through. There's a lot of yarn in this because it's a long half of a sweater. Then we're going to go in the back between the 2 stitches and go into the front leg of the purl stitch knitwise and bring the yarn through. And that's our setup. And then after this, it's the exact same as I showed in the other video tutorial, where we're going to basically slip off knitwise our knit column and then go back into the next knit column purlwise. So we skip the second stitch, which will be our purl, and go back into this stitch purlwise. And then we bring it through, not too tight. And then we're going to purl off our purl stitch, come around the back between the knit and the purl stitch and go into that purl one knitwise again and bring our yarn through. And then it is literally what you're going to be doing is repeating this the whole way through. So we have a knit stitch, so we're going to slip it off knitwise. We're going to go skip this next purl stitch and go into the next knit stitch purlwise. So slip off knitwise for knit stitches, slip off purlwise for purl stitches. And that's how we do it all the way through. So now we have a purl stitch, so we're going to go into it purlwise and off the needle, come around the back of that next stitch, go into the front leg of the next purl stitch. And then we shall start to see this lovely edging appearing. Now I've got 2 yarns in this because this sweater is knit with a DK and a mohair held together. So if you find the mohair is catching, and it can become a nightmare if you don't have it loose enough, and it can catch, literally cut the mohair and just use your the thicker, heavier DK strand, and it will work for you fine. So we're going to continue on a couple more. So we're going to go into our purls, or into our knit column, knitwise and off the needle, go into the next knit stitch purlwise and come through. You see, you can stop. Oh, that's because it's going there. And then we have a purl stitch. Again, come into it purlwise, go around the back between the next 2 stitches and into that next purl stitch knitwise, into the first front leg and pull through. And then you can already see the lovely, see, this is where it can bunch up. And so, as they say with all knots, don't pull tight, pull them apart. And here we go. So we can already see that knit column coming over quite nicely there. It's lovely. So I would just suggest you continue on with that, and that's how we do it. Okay, thank you.